Hello everyone. Today I will talk also for everything. I don't know, I haven't the subject exactly what I must talk with you today, but certainly I will talk about you, about me, about I will talk in your place. I will talk your life in your life now. I will talk about state also, people and state, because then I will talk about immigration because people need travel. But for travel, where you go now? Where you go? You must go to a great state, a good state where you can make your life good, where you can look for a job, for a house, for what eat. That's a problem for immigration. Now, for start to talk about immigration, we have, for example, you can't travel to America. For travel to America, you need a lot of money. You need visa and you need a lot of money. How to go to America? When you can't go to America because land, in your country, you haven't a job, you haven't a good life, you haven't a car, you haven't a house, you have anything, and in truth, there is no state in your country. There is no state. I will say, I will talk in your place, in your state. There is no in your country. There is no state. There is no organization. There is no right, human rights. Why you haven't job? Because administration they didn't give you a job. And when there is no state in your country, the result there is no people. There is no state. The result is there is no people. Logically, if I will make a person sage, a good person. I will say for you, you must stay in your country and you must work your country. No one hate his country. I will say to you, stay in your country and look for a job. And but the problem in the start, when there is no state, your state, it's I don't know. There is no foundation. There is no there is no what I say. Um, Foundation of state. There is no uh, maybe you the responsible, maybe the person who govern in your country, they didn't work for the country, and you have volunteer, but you can't stay in your country. You must travel. You must search for immigration. Where you go now? If I search, I will say best life is in America. That's all person. I think if I want go in one state, there is good life, there is a job, I can travel, I have right, I have all rights, human rights, I will choose America. But to travel to America, you need money, you need visa, you need where you go in America. If you have family, if you have I don't know, there is a lot of things. Then we look these last years, people travel illegal travel. That's no good, but they haven't a choice. They haven't choice. You must travel. You can't stay in your country. That's the problem. And where you go in this state, there is people original from this country. They have they have people, and these people must look for a job, and etc. Then that's a second problem. But the the origin of problem, I think in last 10 years, they come from Arabic refugees, not from Yemen, but exactly Syrian refugee. There is a lot of Syrian refugee in Europe now. If we look for this reason, we start studying Germany, who made I don't know Merkel exactly who said Germany will welcome refugees from Syria and not Yemen, for example. And that's problem when all people travel illegally from the Turkey, and they will go buy food to from Balkan countries, and they will go to Germany, and in Germany they will give him refugee status. And when people from Georgia, from Albania, from Montenegro, from Serbia, they can't travel to Germany because in Germany there is a lot of refugee from Syrian Arabic refugee, and that's a problem. Why it's problem? Because travel it's your law. You it's your law. You can't travel, but when you go travel, there is Syrian refugees. Then when there is Syrian refugees, you haven't a lot of chance to look for a job. For example, for look for a little house where you can sleep, what you can eat, and this is the problem. And why I say in Deutschland? Because if it's not Deutschland, where you go? You go to France, you go to Spain, you go to Italy, and think people from Balkan country prefer travel to Germany. And in Germany, there is maybe 10 million Syrian, 10 million Syrian, and it's not open game. You are in Germany, and everyone he will look for his chance. This is not equal. Deutschland will start to look for this refugee from coming from Syrian, and that's the problem. And if we study what is the relation between Deutschland and Syrian refugees, we look for there is what is the Turkey. The Turkey, it's Erdogan who say for the people, because there is a lot of refugee in Turkey, and Turkey can't welcome all these people, a million people from Syria, and Erdogan say these people must go another land, and the other land at the end is Germany. And for this reason, people can't travel. Where you go, there is Syrian refugees. And now, if we look, for example, Syrian other another country, it's the same now. It's the same now. If we look, for example, in Morocco or in Tunisia or in Libya or in Iraq or in I don't know in Oman or in Yemen, that's the same. All people hate president in this country. All people have the problem because now there is not only Syrian refugee, now added Ukraine refugees in Europe. But the first, I think, before also I see for Ukraine people before war, they haven't place in Deutschland, for example, in Europe. They can't make a job. There is no house. There is not what eat in Europe. Well, when people from Ukraine come to travel to Europe, and this is the problem. Now, what we can do? Must refugees stop it? Syrian refugees must stop it. There is no place for refugees, Syrian refugees in Europe. And when I look for Syrian refugees, I think Yemen country is big. People in this country, in Yemen country, they need refugees. A lot of them Syrian people. If Syrian people now dislike, they didn't want, for example, Bashar al-Assad. I think all people don't like president in his country because there is a lot of problem. Now I want to say, because why I talk about this, because I look for Syrian refugees in Germany. They say for another people, you must now stay in Germany. You must go look another country because Germany is for only Syrian. That's false, because if the game is over, all people go look for a job, go search for them chance in this life. And for this reason, we refugee Syrian, this phenomena must stop it. Must Syrian stay in her country? Then one person, 10% from Syrian travel, this is not problem. There is 10 or 1,000 people from Morocco also went travel, or from Tunisia, or I don't know. And when this problem from Syrian stopped, there is a chance for people who travel to Europe for look for a chance. I know a lot of people, good people, but there is no chance in Europe now. That's one problem. I think a lot of people must think about these questions, because when I look for people, there is no war in this country, for example, but there is not right. The people haven't right, and they must travel. They can't stay. It's not because there is war. There is not died people. There is not war, but as there is war in this country, original country from these people, and these people must travel. And for travel, these people must stop in refugee from Syrian. That's first problem, because if you are from Georgia, from Armenia, from I don't know, from Montenegro, from Albania, from Kosovo, you must travel to search for a good job in Europe. Then the origin of problem is Merkel. Merkel, it's original. It's Merkel. Merkel had opened the door from Syrian refugee, and because in first there is not Syrian in Europe, there is not Syrian in Germany, but the Syrian use the choose. Then if you look, if Syrian have a problem in Syria, they must not choose the country where they can live. If there is war, you can, for example, travel to Lebanon, travel to Jordania, travel to, I don't know, travel to Arabia Saudi, travel to Dubai, to Qatar. And why exactly you go by foot and travel all this country to go to Germany? Then here you look for a good life. When you look for good life, all people want look for a good life, one good for good job, one good for money, or people search money. If you search money because you have war in your country, all people they haven't war in her country, but they look for a job, and when they look for a job, they will make money, and they will go to, I don't know, to America or stay in Germany, or good make a good life for the future. That's important. And today I will also talk about the phenomenal intelligence military. If for example, we say intelligence or renseignement soldaten, this person are good, are better than ordinary people, I think that's false, because in all Arabic country, all the system is military systems, and if we look in the grade of person, we look, for example, Putin is military and it's president. Then it's the best if we start with this idea. We at the end we say then Putin is the better person, is the better man in this earth, because is first it's military, it's in the renseignement, and second it's president of Russia, of land. Then that's false. Military, they didn't must be better than ordinary people. Or for example, from Morocco or from Tunisia or from Algeria or from Libya or from I don't know Yemen, or there is al always there is a police, there is military who governed, and the people haven't lie. And for in this case, what you need make you need make revolution, not travel. But you can't make revolution because there is in the past, there is in the start, there is no state. And when there is no state, automatically there is no people. People on in this land can't think good. You can't have a good idea because you are as in prison. You haven't right, you haven't law, you have anything. Then when you have a lot of problem or social problem, you can't good thing. And when you can't good thing, one person he can make anything. Then I will ask people to go travel anywhere. Why I meet one person, at the end I will say for him, look for a travel, but travel as in good situation. You go with visa and you go with ride. And when you are arrival in good land, in lands in America, also in Canada, you can look for a good chance in this country. And now, what we can say, make revolution. That's not easy. You cannot, because you haven't money. If you have idea, this idea will go kaput in few years. You can resist for 1 year, 2 years, and then you can't. You will to be as the people in this country. They can think and all these things. I will say to people, want go illegal. That's not easy. Then when you are arrival in Europe, you have also always the problem. You can't make a job. You can't, and then this a lot of problem. And for this reason, I don't know what I will say for you, but travel is good idea. You must look for a travel. And for the door will open for all people, have the same right. Must Syrian refugees stop, the must Syrian stay in Syria, because always all people have the same problem as in Syria, but there is no war. Also in Syria now there is no war, because there is conflict, there is problem, there is social problem in Syria. They don't like, for example, President Bashar al-Assad. And also in Syria, if there is some million Syrian in Germany, another million from Syrian are in Russia. That's I won't say that's investment. That's it's equal. It's nothing, because what if Germany have Syrian now in Syria, I don't know what they will do with the Syrian, because at the end there is a lot of Syrian in Russia. They will return to Russia to build, for example, for build Syrian, for example. And also I want make important not in Syria. There is, for example, Golan in Syria. When there is Golan in Syria people and Syrian government say this Golan is for Syria. It's for Syria. But geographic, this land it's for Israel. There is Israel in Golan. And when there is Israel in Golan, if you are now in Deutschland, for example, and you are good people, you can say, as Syrian, you can say Golan is for Israel. And when you can't give Israel Golan for Israel, if you have, for example, you are student of Syrian in Germany, logically you can't say Golan is for Israel. And when you can't say Golan is for Israel, there is always the problem between Syrian in Germany and Israel people. And when there is a problem with Israel people, because now the Israel people they can't meet Syrian in Deutschland, because there is Golan between Syrian and Israeli. There is In middle there is Golan. When there is Golan, if now Syrian they go to Germany, they will say, people Syrian they will say, I don't think now for Golan, but you don't think now for Golan because you have nothing, but after years you will say no, Golan is for Syria. And for this reason, Jewish people, Israeli people, they can't say, for example, they can't meet Syrian in Germany also, and that's problem. The problem they haven't solution. The problem will stay always because there is Jewish people in Germany, and these people they can't meet Syrian because there is Gulen. You must at the end as Syrian think about Gulen. This Gulen must for Syrian must return to Syria, but the Gulen now it's forever. It's for Israel. That's important. And when you are Syrian in Deutschland, at the start, at the beginning, it's Turkey. They say to you, you can't go. If Turkey they didn't want you, you go to Germany. You are not now in Germany. But when you are in Germany, you will let, for example, Turkey, and you will say, no, I am with Germany. I am not with Turkey in Deutschland because you are in Deutschland, and the same thing where you go, you will use the same political. If in Germany, if in France, if in Algeria, if in Morocco, if in Tunisia, if in Egypt. When you are in Egypt, you say Egypt government is good, then Syrian government is not good. You are with Egypt, for example. The same thing. And when you are not in Egypt, you go to London, you say